Hello and welcome. In the other videos of the extended wireframe course, I've explained how you set up and create a wireframe for your application. Bettyblocks provides additional functionality that you can use to link your wireframes together. In this video, I'll be talking about navigation in your wireframe and how to set up links via buttons and other elements to ensure a smooth navigation flow for the target audience of your wireframe. Navigation can have a large impact on the design and use of your product, and it's important to get right before moving on to the production phases. So, when thinking of navigation in your wireframe, you need to think about a couple of questions. How many steps are involved to accomplish a task? When will the user need this information? How easy is it to find this information? And how can a user return to a previous state or screen? Think about these questions when deciding what kind of menu you want to use and how you want to implement more functionalities for navigation in your application. A rule you could use here is the KISS rule. Keep it short and simple. Make sure your user doesn't have to click too many buttons to get where he or she is going. And the most important aspect of your application needs to be the easiest to find. After that, it's okay to let a user click 2 or 3 times to get where they need to be. A rule you could use here is the KISS rule. Keep it short and simple. Make sure your user doesn't click too many buttons to get where he or she is going. Because the most important aspects of your application need to be the easiest to find. And after that, it's okay to let a user click 2 or 3 times to get where they need to be. When using a navigation menu, we recommend always placing the menu on the left or top side of your page. The reason for this is that it's the first place people look at when opening an application or website. When thinking about navigation, having a wireframe in which you can navigate helps you as a developer and the users testing out your application's wireframe what the flow of your application feels like. And luckily, Bettyblocks provides additional functionality that you can use to link your wireframes together. These are our navigation and button components. The navigation components are a combination of layout and content components, together with navigation functionality. The navigation bar is one of the most used menu structures and can be dropped onto your page without the need of any support from layout components. In a component, you can add a logo and multiple links to navigate through your application. The menu component functions as a drop-down component. Drag the menu on your page, add menu items to the component to create your own drop-down menu, and the menu item component can be added to your menu component as many times as you want. Just make sure to keep it neat and visible though. The breadcrumb component is a secondary navigation component that uses breadcrumb items to reveal your location within the website. Each breadcrumb item component is a part of the breadcrumb component and represents a page within the so-called breadcrumbs path. The tabs component is a window with multiple tabs containing containers which a user can switch between. Inside each tabs component, you can place multiple tab components. Stepper components are components that use steps to show your progress, often used in wizards or multi-page forms. Each stepper is created with 2 steps, and you can manually add more steps by adding a step component to your stepper. Aside from navigation components, we also have button components to navigate and steer our way through our application. Buttons can be used to redirect to pages or trigger actions. The button component itself is fully customizable and can do everything the other buttons can as well. But for this component, you will need to set the functionalities all by yourself. The Open Page button provides you with a setup wizard once you drag and drop the component onto your page. Use this button to enable navigation between your pages and make your wireframe come to life. The other 3 button components are connected to page builder functionalities, so you won't use these for wireframing, but let me quickly explain what they do. The logout button comes with an automatically configured interaction that locks a logged in user out of your application. The delete record button can be connected to a data field on your page and delete the object the data field is holding. The action button is a trigger for actions. Once the button is clicked, the action connected to the button will trigger and will start. And certain components don't specifically have a navigation button, but have a row click or page select option instead. These are used to connect the components to another page. Whenever a user clicks on the component, they are taken to the set page you've targeted via the option. Navigation components have specific settings compared to other components. So let's go over the navigation specific settings. The position setting. You can set the position of certain components to be either static, fixed, absolute, sticky, or relative. Use the static position to display your menu at a set position. The fixed position to allow your component to adapt to the screen size you have in front of you. The absolute position, where the component sticks to a set position in its parent component. Watch out, because this might overlap other items in the parent component. Sticky, where the component will always be visible on your page and is pinned to your display as you, as a user, scroll up or down your page. And the relative position. This can be used to position a component relative to its normal position, based on the inner and outer spacing options. The menu bar also has a logo setting in the menu bar. Place an image URL in the logo to give your menu bar a unique look featuring your company's logo. The elevation option can be used to add a floating look to your component. As you increase the amount of shadow around the component increases. Within your menu component, you can find the menu placement option. This is used to define what side you would like your menu dropdown to start or end. Press the button and your menu options will appear on the side you chose. The tab component index shows you the tab that you work on in your page builder and also what tab is displayed in the tab overview when users visit your page. The indicator color displays what tab is open and active to the user. Use the Show All Tabs option to display all tabs at the same time. A nice option when developing, for example. The step component index shows you the step you work on in your page builder and also what step is displayed first when users visit your page. Use the type option to select a different display view for your steps: horizontal display, vertical display, or mobile display. In the step component, the active colors are used for the step visible to the user. The inactive colors are used for the steps that are currently not selected. The background color is used for the background per step, and the connector color changes the color of the line between the steps. The navigation components have the same style options as some of the layout and content components I have discussed in the other videos of this course. You can change the amount of space a component uses by changing the height, width, inner space or outer space options of the component. You can also set an icon or text button and background color for some of the components to make them stand out more in your page. The options for the button components don't differ too much from each other. The page button has a page option that allows you to set a page a user can navigate to. An action button allows you to connect to an action you can trigger once you press the button. Aside from that, they're all almost the same. You can set the text visible in the button via the button text option. The full width option allows the button to be used in its entire width of the parent component. Use this to create more attention for a button inside a different component. Each button can also have an icon. Use an appropriate icon to help users understand the functionality of the button faster. Buttons have their own styling options and don't have to be bound by the colors you set in the theme builder. Open the Styles tab next to the Button's Options tab to personalize each button to your liking. Here you can also create completely new styles by adjusting color, shape, spacing and typography. Buttons can also be triggers for customized actions. These are called interactions. In the last video of the extended wireframe course, I'll explain the interactions you can use in your wireframe. But for now, good luck setting up your navigation flow.